Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a matter-of-fact video. As a matter of fact, what you see before you is a bronze owl, and immediately behind it, the eyes of another owl that appear to be laid out in the streets of Washington, D.C. And immediately below those curly Q eyes, and immediately above this owl's face now, is another owl with two very small, circular, perfectly circular eyes with diamonds in them. They are there for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. This is the owl that is being created by the breath of the Egyptian gods, and that's in the volume of my book. You can see it in the volume of my book. This is one entire owl with the horns and the nose. Everything that you see inside this green circle is an owl. However, everything that you see above the little owl are now become the eyes of a larger owl, which are part and parcel of the pictograph that appears as the owled streets in Washington, D.C. Utilizing this protractor, you can see that this protractor, when it's brought down through the snout of the owl, is in fact the same degree, and it's there for a specific reason. This is what is called the legs of the owl that you see in Washington, D.C. And now we're going to Washington, D.C. so that you too can see that this fella here has never told you the truth about anything and never will. His only purpose is to institute Agenda 21, which I agree with. There are too many people on this planet, and in 19 years there won't be enough food for a single bowl of rice for any member of your family or any person worldwide. And in 9 years, there will be no more clean potable water coming out of the ground that is clean and drinkable. It will all have to be filtered. This is why Agenda 21 is coming to a town near you, folks. And that's why I agree with it. But moving past that, I gotta tell you, folks, look at what's happening here before your eyes. That's the owl I just spoke about, and this is the owl inside Washington, D.C. This is the owl that appears inside Washington, D.C. Notice the eyes of the owl. Notice the eyes of the owl and the horns of the owl's head are identical in nature to the horns and facial structure of this owl. And it's not a coincidence, folks, but more importantly, notice below the owl is the protractor that exists below the owl's eyes. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. All of this was put here. Let me give you a brief synopsis. All of this was put here by a race of beings, a remnant society that has lived on this world since before these sea creatures existed in the ocean. They came here. They populated the planet Earth with species from other worlds, perhaps. They let this world nurture unto its own. We are not alone, folks, and these people are the people that control our governments and our societies to the degree that we can no longer tell the difference between what's right and wrong, because there is no way to tell the difference between what's right and wrong, because nothing adds up anymore. Nothing. The Greek, just for instance, and we go back to the owl. The Greek economy is 1/1000th of the world economy. And because the Greek economy is going to collapse, the whole world is going to collapse. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense. I'm going back to the owl, as I promised, because you know that if I said it, it's going to happen. Just like in my book, which I'm going to plug right now, Angels on the Ark by Michael Fazio, a 1990-page ebook. By the push of a button, you can have downloaded into your computer by clicking the link under any of my video descriptions. All of the information in all of my videos is inside the volume of my 1990-page ebook. $12.25. You push a button, it's on your desk. All this information, everything about the owl, including some of these pictures, most of these pictures, the owl's eyes, Washington, D.C., the protractor, this is described in great detail in the volume of my book and my videos. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, if you don't believe me, I have words of wisdom from my dad, who was not the most intelligent person in the world. He couldn't read and he couldn't write, but that man knew about human nature. And to prove it to you, watch this prophetic video by Captain Thomas Fazio.
You're gentlemen in whale shit.
Oh, Father.
If you missed it, folks, here we go again.
You're gentlemen in whale shit.
Oh, Father.
You have to watch that kind of stuff really good and fast, folks, because my dad didn't stick around long enough to say anything twice. And ladies and gentlemen, at this point, my name is Michael Fazio, and I run a channel called Hoodwinked by an Angel, and I am the person that proved to you all of this stuff via my book, that these pictographs on the $1 bill and the words in the Bible that line up with the pictographs, that's all inside the book as well. All of this stuff was placed here by a remnant society or an alien race of beings that have controlled this world for tens of thousands of years, and certainly since Atlantis. And at that point, folks, I know you're all looking for a bigger camera for me because I'm starting to get phone calls. I need you to find me that bigger camera.